The Story of Western Philosophy, Chapter 1, the sixth section. The psychological problem. But behind these political problems lies the nature of man. To understand politics, we must, unfortunately, understand psychology. Like man, like state, governments vary as the characters of men vary. States are made out of the human natures which are in them. The state is what it is because its citizens are what they are. Therefore, we need not expect to have better states until we have better men. Till then, all changes will leave every essential thing unchanged. How charming people are, always doctoring, increasing, and complicating their disorders, fancying they will be cured by some nostrum, which somebody advises them to try, never getting better, but always growing worse. Are they not as good as a play, trying their hand at legislation and imagining that by reforms they will make an end to the dishonesties and rascalities of mankind, not knowing that in reality they are cutting away at the heads of a hydra. Let us examine for a moment the human material with which political philosophy must deal. Human behavior, says Plato, flows from three main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. Desire, appetite, impulse, instinct. These are want. Emotion, spirit, ambition, courage. These are want. Knowledge, thought, intellect, reason. These are want. Desire has its seat in the loins. It is a bursting reservoir of energy, fundamentally sexual. Emotion has its seat in the heart, in the flow and force of the blood. It is the organic resonance of experience and desire. Knowledge has its seat in the head. It is the eye of desire and can become the pilot of the soul. These powers and qualities are all in all men, but in diverse degrees. Some men are but the embodiment of desire, restless and acquisitive souls who are absorbed in material quests and quarrels, who burn with lust of luxuries and show, and who rate their gains always as naught compared with their ever receding goals. These are the men who dominate and manipulate industry, but there are others who are temples of feeling and courage, who care not so much what they fight for as for victory in and for itself. They are pugnacious rather than acquisitive. Their pride is in power rather than in possession. Their joy is on the battlefield rather than in the mart. These are the men who make the armies and navies of the world. And last are the few whose delight is in meditation and understanding, who yearn not for goods nor for victory, but for knowledge, who leave both market and battlefield to lose themselves in the quiet clarity of secluded thought, whose will is a light rather than a fire, whose haven is not power but truth. These are the men of wisdom, who stand aside unused by the world. Now, just as effective individual action implies that desire, though warmed with emotion, is guided by knowledge, so in the perfect state the industrial forces would produce, but they would not rule. The military forces would protect, but they would not rule. The forces of knowledge and science and philosophy would be nourished and protected, and they would rule. Unguided by knowledge, the people are a multitude without order, like desires in disarray. The people need the guidance of philosophers as desires need the enlightenment of knowledge. Ruin comes when the trader, whose heart is lifted up by wealth, become ruler, or when the general uses his army to establish a military dictatorship. The producer is at his best in the economic field. The warrior is at his best in battle. They are both at their worst in public office, and in their crude hands, politics submerges statesmanship. For statesmanship is a science and an art. One must have lived for it and been long prepared. Only a philosopher king is fit to guide a nation. Until philosophers are kings, or the kings and the princes of this world have the spirit and power of philosophy, and wisdom and political leadership meet in the same man, cities will never cease from ill, nor the human race. This is the keystone of the arch of Plato's thought. The 6th section is over.